fame.
What is going on, Houston, Texas? The Houston Texans go 0-2, lose against the Ravens today in a game where, if I'm being completely honest, it looked like a regular season game for the Houston Texans, at least at some points of the game. I think ultimately what basically breaks down this game and us losing this game is complementary football. The defense played well for about 3 quarters. And right where the offense needed to take over at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, Sean Watson unfortunately throws a ball into the ground, very low for Brandon Cooks not being able to catch it. And unfortunately, we have to go up for 3 points. And the Baltimore Ravens decide, you know what, let's put this game away, drive down the field. And then on 4th and 1, when you had made a hell of a play on Hollywood Brown to basically not allow them to convert, they said, we're going for it. And then they just gash you like nothing, really. Zero. I mean, everyone's in at the line of scrimmage thinking it's coming right down the middle. They squeeze it right through the left. Ingram goes down and scores a touchdown. And that pretty much wraps up the game for you guys. Now, look, I had the Texans going 2-2 of the first 4 games, except that my wins came from beating the Chiefs week 1 and then beating the Vikings week 4. So now we start 0-2. And how good are these Texans really? Because the Chiefs right now are losing to the Chargers. And, you know, the Chargers with a rookie, Herbert. And so, you know, what can we say about the Texans? Now, the tackling definitely got better this game. I can definitely say that. McKinney had a bunch of good plays, especially even one in coverage that, for the most part, anybody gets called for pass interference on that particular play. Kept himself disciplined and put his hands in the air at the right particular time. I just think, man, for you to expect this defense to hold Lamar Jackson for 4 quarters, it was ridiculous for this team to think that. And the offense really did not give the energy to the defense when it most needed. I think if Deshaun Watson completes that pass to Cooks, who actually had a great game. Will Fuller obviously had a tight hamstring. And so, you know, he was limited in this game. I think another thing that affected us this particular game was the absence of Duke Johnson. We were not able to run 2 running back sets. And I began to see something that a subscriber of my channel said a while back when we made the acquisition of David Johnson. It was, keep an eye on David Johnson and how he favors his right wrist. We know that his left wrist is injured, so he favored his right wrist. I was seeing some of those plays, and it's unfortunate, man. I think the success of David Johnson has a lot to do with Duke Johnson being on the field. So looking forward to hopefully having him in week 3 as we go against the Steelers. So we'll see how that goes, man. But it wasn't just a bad, tough game to watch. It was just a frustrating game to watch because I think at times when the defense gave you the energy you needed to get on offense, we just scored field goals instead of touchdowns. And like I said, against this team, if you wanted to have a shootout, you needed the defense to do its part in the running game, which I think for the most part it did. And the other part, you needed to have a running game of your own. And I think at the end of the day, it falls down to that. We didn't create a running game for ourselves. At one point, the stretching of the field, they throw in deep, kind of open up the running game, and then it closed up again. So, hey, man, props and credit to the Baltimore Ravens. They came in and did what they did. I still think that it was a competitive game. It was a game that the Texans, could have had. And unfortunately, one of the things that continued to pop is ugly head on this team is this offensive line. We praised them because Titus Howard had one hell of a rookie year. But this year, he's definitely been very inconsistent. Even Sharpen in this particular game at some points was taking no snaps. And Clemente was in there for him, non-injury related. So just different things that you began to see with this team that unfortunately need to improve, and only comes from the improvement of the coaching who need to develop these players. Yes, I know Texas coaches don't develop any players. And then the second half of that responsibility falls on the players themselves. I think they're too worried about what's going on in the media, what's being said about them. Hey, if you don't want bad stuff being talked about you, get in there, grind, put in the work. But anyways, man, that is my spill on this Saturday night, man. Unfortunately, the Texans go 0-2. Hope they bounce back next week. You know what it is every day, baby. It is H-Town. Let's get